Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Running pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
How much did you love that weekend? What was the best part of your weekend? With the Cowboy, Braylon Edwards, his show. KG is with us. Ryan is with us. Glad you are with us on this Monday afternoon edition of the Braylon Edwards Show here on Woodward Sports. It's a different look for you, but one you can pull off with ease.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you kindly. I got my Cowboy look going on, and it's not because the Dallas Cowboys drew the Green Bay Packers to a tie last night. It has nothing to do with those guys. It's because I was in Ann Arbor this past weekend. I know you're saying Michigan didn't play. You're absolutely correct. But Brian, last night, Zach Bryan and John Mayer put on a concert that was amazing, Shep, and they broke the United States record for most attendees.
Oh, really? The attendance record set.
They broke it. I want to say it's like 112,000. So it was fun. Operating. There you go. Appreciate you, Ryan.
Wow.
There you go. 112,408. And Shep, I've been to the Big House a lot of times. Mm-hmm. I've been in there a lot of 100,000 crowds. I've been in some that broke the records, like Ohio State in 2003. I was there in 2015 when Notre Dame and Michigan broke the record. But seeing that many people on the field and in the stands and the noise, they told me it was wine and cheese crowd. Well, not that past Saturday. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good energy.
Did you notice the crowd when you played? Did you notice how many? I didn't.
Nah.
I didn't think so.
I mean, you would notice it on certain, like with the defenses on the field, maybe you'll notice it a little bit after a big play, like one of those plays against one of those rivals. Like, like when Shoelace takes off for 90 yards against Notre Dame, or Mario Manningham, he catches the slant route against Penn State to win the game, last play game. It's 100,000+, but on average, I was just it's a place of business.
Was there an uneasy feeling from you when you were in that crowd?
Because I was the only black person?
Right. Say what you really mean.
Because I was the only black person? Go ahead, Shep. Is that what it is?
What you really mean, Shep?
Because I was one of 6 black people?
No.
Yes.
No, when you're you said because there's so many people in the stand and on the field.
Yes, you're right.
I would guess you're looking around and you're like, oh my goodness. I mean, 112,000. How do you get the hell out of there?
Nah, no? Schimberger, it's not Schimberger, but Ann Arbor was one way in, one way out.
I know.
Big house. I didn't even think like that.
Okay.
Everybody there was vibing. It was super cool. It wasn't anything crazy. Although there was a lot of crazy this week, unfortunately, this past weekend, it was super cool. And the coolest thing about it was I got a chance to meet the guy, Rich, who's the head of AEG. AEG put the concert on. Shout out to AEG. Sitting talking with him. He said the reason why there's never been concerts at Ann Arbor or the Big House is because obviously it's one way in, it's the tunnel. Nobody's ever measured the dimensions. He said nobody really came to the people of Michigan and said, hey, look, we measured, we can get it in, and also the record had to be broken. That was the deal that the people at Michigan said.
So the only way they were going to have that concert is if they could break the record.
And they said, based on what our early ticket sales are, we'll break the record, not a problem. They guarantee it, and then they let them measure it. They measured it. It was fine. I will say this. If you're going to see more concerts at the Big House, it has to be like Zach Bryan's production. Like, it wasn't a lot of production. Like, it wasn't a lot to bring in terms of staging and pyrotechnics and extra things and building it upwards because there's not only space through the tunnel. You got to make sure it's just kind of chill. He had 4 pillars. He had a little bit of room, kept it open on the 360 stage. It was a lot easier. You got to simplify the process.
Don't you have to keep it open just because there's people all around? You can't have it at one end and then everybody in front of you, right? So it has to be open, don't you think?
Yeah. True. What they did with John Mayer played to the home team side. So, like, his kind of was set up facing, the home side, University of Michigan, section 23. It's looking at them. However, Zach Bryan, his was on 360. He performed in all 4 spots. He started over here. He came over here.
We do have a video.
You said, we do have a video. Actually, we got the opening. Go ahead. And you'll notice the jersey, too, he played in. Go ahead. You might get. Oh, you are. End of the day, you see the crowd. It was electric. It was a lot of fun. It was a good group. A lot of fun.
I think that's a pretty good answer to a trivia question in the future. Because I wouldn't have guessed him. You know, I for some reason or another, I would have not have guessed. Is that some major? It's a major accomplishment. But would people have expected he's the guy to break the all-time record?
The way I look at it, because that's a really good question. The way I look at it is this generation, like Ryan and I talked about this, if you're 30, maybe 32 and younger, like this is your Garth Brooks.
This is your guy, okay.
This is your Garth Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a young guy. He's got a hell of a story. He was in the Navy. A lot of his videos that he uploaded while he was doing that, they went viral. So he's kind of a this era situation. Like he's a viral sensation. He served, as well as he's doing country music. I mean, I don't think you can get bigger than that in the trending space. Everyone 32 to 12 years old, they know this guy's lyrics. Like I was listening to him. We gave him 20 minutes. Yeah, I gave him 20 minutes. I was there to see John Mayer, but everyone's saying every single word to every single song. Like the 20 minutes I was there, that's what I gathered.
Who was the headliner?
He was a headliner.
Luke Bryan, that's what I thought.
Like, he was a headliner. John Mayer did him a favor, did him a solid. You also bring in the parents by having John Mayer.
Right.
Parents can come to the concert.
It's not exactly
too.
the same genre, is it? It's not
No,
the same
but
music genre.
It's not, but it's guitar. John Mayer's from New Orleans, so he plays a bit of that soul. He's on the guitar as well. He plays some acoustic guitar, so it's got some of the same soul in it, but his is more soul, like Creole
More
soul.
black people for John Mayer, would you
100%.
say?
Oh,
yeah.
okay. That's what I
Have you ever seen the Dave Chappelle skit?
He took the words out of my mouth.
I just want to make sure. More black people for John Mayer, and they stuck around for Luke Bryan. What did you do before? Because we saw you a cool picture with you on somebody's porch or somebody's.
So that's my guy Peter's house. Peter Goff at Michigan in '84, class '84.
No relation to Jared.
Yeah. No relation to Jared. But his spot is the spot. So those are the two houses on. I guarantee Ryan knows what I'm talking about. It's on Pauline and Main Street.
Yeah, I know where you're at.
I know exactly. Yep. It's the two houses on the corners, the light blue house and the yellow house.
the little house.
And he 100%.
Yeah, shout out to Little House.
Everybody knows. So he owns them both. He gutted them both. Made it a tailgate space, but his tailgates are like, gotta have the invite.
Oh yeah,
You gotta have the invite.
Right. Well, it looks good, man. It looks like a great time.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
man.
It's a late night, I would guess.
Nah, you know what? Because luckily John Mayer opened,
Okay.
and I didn't come to see Zach Bryan in totality. So show started. I think John Mayer went on 7:15.
Not terrible. Okay.
Zach Bryan went on about 9. About 9.
Okay.
I was 1 foot out the big house, probably 9:32.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right.
He don't mess around.
So I got back to the crib like 10:15. I had on the Oregon Penn State game. I had to get back to football.
Yeah, you were
Took
able
a detour.
Yeah, well, you know all the back roads. There's no doubt about that.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
In and
How
out.
about that, Braylon?
I you know what? I love that T-shirt too.
I appreciate it. It
Did
was
you
so
buy
good,
it?
I had to double it
You
back.
didn't buy it there. You've already had it.
No, I did not buy it there. I bought it at a Western store on Farmington and 8 Mile.
No kidding.
It's literally called the Western store. They got some dope stuff up in there. They had this hat. You know, my chocolate brown hat. It's not quite a Stetson.
Right.
So, you know, it's not 300.
That 5 or 10
500,
gallon.
but
Yeah, 5 or 10 gallons.
You're right.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Shit. Oh, you know what I meant to say is a happy National Coffee Day. Happy
All right.
National Coffee Day, man. Got my little Gladiator espresso from Smoothie
You
King.
got the Smoothie King. Okay. All right. Those
Shout
were
out.
all
Try
gone
and
by
get
the
right
time
now.
I got here. Man, some people clean that out. Neil and company clean that out. They just go to town.
They're lucky they're on air when the delivery comes, but don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I'll have you one tomorrow. I'll have everybody on this show one tomorrow.
During commercial break, they're all over. Well, I'm glad you had fun because it looks like a lot of fun. And
It was cool.
I like that you're willing to, you got that umbrella, man. You open it up, you branch out.
Have some fun.
You go see some different things, and then you got back to college football, which was, another James Franklin meltdown to a certain extent, wasn't it?
Big game, James.
It's
big
incredible,
game.
isn't it? Seriously, it's incredible.
Let me ask you this question about that. How much of it is James and how much of it is the players?
I was going to ask you the same thing, but there is one constant.
Yeah, James
James
Franklin.
Franklin
So,
recruits the players.
We can nitpick on numbers all we want. Like,
Yeah.
we can skew numbers any way we want about whether a player or a coach we like or dislike. So when people are out there, you could tell, against top 6 teams, James Franklin's 2-21.
Yeah.
Now, again, why 6? Well, maybe it's because his numbers aren't very good. Maybe, what if you extended it to 10? His numbers might be a lot better. Somebody wanted to alarm us, and they did a good job of that, by the way. And his team, in an overtime, in the whiteout, home field advantage is supposed to matter. It didn't against Oregon, did it?
I know people can't talk about the Lions, but the one thing I will say about James Franklin is this. It goes on players and it goes on coach because Drew Aller threw the interception at the end of the game. James Franklin wasn't in there throwing the interception. That was on the quarterback. Where I would charge James Franklin making more about them. What do you need to do to bring in the type of players that can beat Ohio State, that can beat Michigan, that can help you win in these big moments? Because if you're going to tell me, well, Drew Aller's then go get yourself a 5-star quarterback. Because last time I checked, the money that you make is $10 million plus.
Yeah.
You guys have money at Penn State. Go start recruiting some of these receivers, like the receiver of South Carolina, Nick, I can't think of his last name, Nick Harbor that runs a 10-2. Guess where he's from? Not too far from Pennsylvania. Right. Go get the studs that can beat the teams that's causing you problems. That's why I would charge James Franklin. You're this great recruiter. Stop recruiting the same type of players. A 6'1" quarterback that has some athletic ability, can't really throw the ball that far, but can run a little bit, and you hand the ball off to a running back that's probably from Jersey or Pennsylvania. Yeah. This has been copy-paste for 20 years.
Then I don't disagree with any of it.
Outside linebackers going to be the strength.
Then why are there so many people who live in that space and call themselves expert in that space and suggest that Penn State is a national championship contender?
Because they went to the playoffs last year, because they've had a name over the past 10 years, because they're always mentioned in the top 8. In the last 10 years, you're hearing about them top 8. Sometimes they sneak up to 2. They've had some players like Saquon Barkley that have come out and had some success. Micah Parsons, outside Abdul Hajj last year. You always got an outside linebacker, and they always have a shot. Like, they're always around. They're always around. And the reason why people don't give them much flack is because Penn State doesn't care. Like, if James Franklin in this Penn State situation was at a different type of school, it wouldn't be allowed to go on like this.
It depends on the school, but I agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Penn State is the Big Ten's version of Oklahoma State and Mike Gundy. I mean, better team, but Mike Gundy will never get fired, and neither will James Franklin.
I mean,
Mike Gundy got fired last week.
Well,
yeah,
before then, though.
But I hear what you're saying.
100%.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
He was a quarterback there. Maybe they gave a little bit longer of a runway to him. James Franklin, I get the sense Penn State people almost feel like we can't do any better. And instead of thinking that that's more of a destination site or a place that more people would want to coach, I get the sense they feel like, you know what, this is probably as good as we're going to get.
Is it that mixed, because I'm not going to say or, is it that mixed in with the fact that he's the guy that saved them after you know what? He's the guy that brought them out of the fire after the situation with that doesn't need to be mentioned. And it's like, hey, he bought us out. We didn't think we had a chance of prayer. Like, all we saw was darkness. He bought us out to a place where people respect the school again. The hell with it. Let's just hope he wins. If he doesn't, we'll try again next year.
I mean, do you really think Penn State could ever do what North Carolina did?
Hire Bill Belichick?
Hire a guy like Bill Belichick. Why wouldn't they be able to do something like that? If they have a rich tradition, I think it's fair to say that Penn State has a rich tradition. Now, is it as rich as some of the others? No.
Yeah.
But they have a rich tradition. You and I have been to Happy Valley. I don't know if Ryan or KG has. There's not a lot to do there, okay? And you don't get a lot of coverage. Case in point, what took place with Jerry Sandusky flew under the radar for so long, okay? Yeah. So why wouldn't that be a place where you could tantalize somebody with a bigger name, more credentials than James Franklin?
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to know.
Same.
So if you think that they're not worthy, or you feel like it's not something that is all that desirable, how do they make it more desirable? And let's not talk about them as if they are one of those elite places.
Well, you know who is an elite place and is desirable? The Detroit Lions, and they're starting to prove week 1 is that of the distant past.
And here's the beauty of what the Lions, different Lion, like you said, with the Detroit Lions, they've been able to beat teams that, quote unquote, you're supposed to beat, and then rise to the occasion, like they did against Baltimore. And suddenly we're looking at the Lions a lot differently, not you and I, but I mean people in general, a lot differently than we did a few weeks ago. We are also looking at Green Bay a lot differently than we did a few weeks ago, because the Packers looked like a team that was going to be arguably one of the best teams in the NFC. Yeah. Suddenly, there's a lot of cracks in that armor.
Yeah.
Defensively, specifically, that is a problem for them right now. And people are starting to question Matt LaFleur. They're starting to question Jordan Love. Jordan Love played pretty well. 40 points, but how does the defense give up 40 points in that regard? It's just it's amazing how quickly sports can turn in such a short period of time.
Yeah, 100%. You dial into the beginning of the season gets off to a certain start for the Green Bay Packers. They got all the emotion, all the energy, right? And then they beat the Lions. Lions get off to a slow start, and that hurt them in the end. And now you look like something. And then you beat a Commanders team 4 days later that is not the same team that we saw last year. It doesn't seem to be as good as the same team we saw last year. And now it's like, this team is great. Mm-hmm. This team is doing real things. I think when we saw that game last week, and Cleveland's defense, which we saw, is damn good.
Yeah.
They can only do so much with a bad offense, and we'll get into that. But when you watch that Cleveland game, I think that was the game that put it on notice. Like, wait, I know their defense is good, but they're not that good. To the point where if you're supposed to be this really good offense, you're supposed to be able to figure some things out. Josh Jacobs, you got this receiving core. Tucker Kraft played, which means he was all systems go. You have a good offensive line, and you have this genius in Matt LaFleur. And what was that with? Then what was that? I think you have to take things like that serious, and then you watch them against Dallas. They put up the points. The defense, for all the ranking and all the talk, they struggled against Dak Prescott, a person that I'm not ashamed to admit when I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. However, he is playing well.
Yeah.
Like Dak Prescott so far this season is playing well. So I'll give him love. It won't last.
Yeah,
but
that's
for
okay.
For right now, he's playing well, and he's rose to the occasion.
I give you credit. I give you credit for at least acknowledging that, because he's kind of forced it. And he did it without his best wide receiver and one of the best wide receivers in all of football.
He lost weight. He looks better in the pocket. He looks more fluid. Obviously, he was slow as hell at the end of the game. That's why Micah caught him. But he looks like he's taking it serious this offseason, like he came in with something different. So that's to be respected.
Yeah, we were told the offensive line wasn't going to be able to do anything against Green Bay's defensive front, and they actually did. So not that I want to talk a lot about the Cowboys. I would just say this. I mean, Detroit scored 27 points on that defense of Cleveland. I know the score was 34, but that was special teams, right? Mm-hmm. Khalif Raymond with the return. 27 points. And I'm not one of those guys who can say, well, they scored 27, Green Bay scored 10, so Detroit's that much better than Green Bay. We've already seen Detroit play Green Bay. A lot of it is when you play a team, where you play a team, where it rests on your schedule. But the Lions' defense, like we were talking about Green Bay's defense, we've talked about Baltimore's defense before that game going in. Detroit's defense was stellar against Cleveland. And before people start to say, well, their offense isn't very good, it was good enough at times this year to scare some other opponents. Detroit made sure it did not come close to scaring Lions fans.
Yeah, everybody gets paid in the NFL. Like when you're in pro sports, everybody gets paid. Coaches get paid, coordinators get paid, and players get paid. So you play the players and the coaches against you, and when you beat them, you deserve to take credit in that. But it's not when you play bad teams, just, it was a bad team, and it's not much. It's how did you look against that team? Cleveland never was in the game.
Right.
Like even in the first drive where they scored, they came out, nice first drive, made some plays. It's always going to be rocky. By the way, I told you the score would be 30-10. It was 34-10. It's like that in the beginning, and then you figure them out. Once the Lions figured them out outside the interception, they never really let the foot off the gas, and never did you fear the Lions were in bad shape. And then you watch how they played on defense. They dominated. They dominated in the middle. DJ Reader is figuring it out in the middle.
He's been good, don't you think?
He's been really good.
Yeah.
He's been really good. You got some guys on the opposite, like Nowoski came up big for you. Here's some energy off the bench. Maybe this is why
Derek Barnes was so good,
He's
Braylon.
starting to come on.
I mean,
he's starting to come. You saw it in the Baltimore Ravens game.
Yes, we did. Maybe, just maybe, it's going to take a lot to convince us.
Yeah.
And right now, KG's smirking a little bit because he knows where I'm going with this. Yeah. Maybe Brad Holmes is smarter than all of us.
Maybe.
Because, and Dan Campbell, maybe they saw something in Derek Barnes.
Yeah.
They know Lee McNeil's coming back. They know that Kelvin Shepard can find ways to dial up pressure than you and I and everybody else were looking at and saying, sorry, if you don't get Trey Hendrickson, it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. If you don't make a move and go get Max Crosby, it's not going to work. We've got to do something. Please find me Zadarius Smith. Oops, he's been absent for 2 weeks. Maybe they did know.
Yeah.
Maybe they were that smart about it. Now, I still would feel a lot more comfortable with some of the depth. And now you look at the cornerback position, you could say the same thing. But it's interesting how a lot of these guys have really elevated their play from a year ago.
100%. And look, two things can be true. Just talking about the defensive side of things, yes, they've elevated their play. They're playing a lot better than they played in week 1, week 2. Maybe you're starting to see some guys show up. And I think that was Aaron Glenn's conversation with Dan Campbell as well as Brad Holmes when he was leaving. Shep's ready. Shep's the guy. I guarantee this is a conversation they had. This is how it happens when they promote from within. The guy before, who is Shep's mentor, look, he's ready. He's dialed in. He's going to be all right. So when Kelvin comes in and he has the conversation, now he's the DC, we're fine. We don't need to go out and make moves. I know what I have. I know how I'm going to utilize it. That's got to be where they feel comfortable. Yeah. It's not Brad Holmes saying, yeah, I spent enough money, or I put the right pieces there. It's not Dan Campbell like, this is directly related to Kelvin Shepherd, and you saw that on display last week. Getting back to how you beat teams, it's how they are beating teams. It's how the Cleveland Brown game looked. It's how the Baltimore Raven game looked. It's how that Chicago Bears team looked. Chicago's a Bear team. The Bears are a bad team. They got beat up on. Baltimore's supposed to be a good team, but they have holes. Guess what? Found those holes, exposed and dominated them. The Cleveland Browns, really good defensive line, not much on the offense. Don't get brought into a dogfight. They didn't get brought into a dogfight. Right. Pun intended on that one. So it's just liking the way they are playing and that defensive line and that defense as a whole. It's the reason why I went back and found them in my fantasy, and they're my fantasy defense.
Yeah, I love what Kelvin Shepherd has done. I love what John Morton has done. I mean, and I think you got to give Dan Campbell a lot of credit because the conversation, like you said, with Aaron Glenn, and to say, you know what, I do trust Aaron Glenn's suggestion because Aaron Glenn could have brought him. He could have brought him to be the DC, okay? And what did Dan Campbell do? I'm elevating him and go outside the organization or bring a guy back into the organization, if you will. John Morton, there was no panic on this franchise. We all panicked. And I say we collectively for, as Braylon says, effect. Everybody panicked after the Green Bay game. I don't see the creativity in their offense. I'm worried about their leaky defense. The coordinators are it's going to take a long time for them to catch up. Figure out the cliche, insert it. Everybody said it. You know what? Everybody was wrong. Okay? At least for now.
Yeah.
Everybody was wrong. The offense looks as good now as it ever looked under Ben Johnson, and the defense looks as good now as it ever did under Aaron Glenn. And by the way, in certain areas, they're playing shorthanded, and they're still getting it done. So it's a really good feeling. We're going to talk more about that here on the Braylon Edwards Show. But first, Ben Johnson is the man, and he always looks good.
I'm glad you brought up how they're playing this year versus last year. I got some quarterly numbers. You know, I'm a big quarters guy. So I got some quarterly numbers for you. But
hard to believe that the season's almost a quarter. I mean, basically is a quarter over.
You know, obviously they had that one game on, so it messed the math up on it. But this is the quarter. You know who doesn't mess up, and that's Ben Johnson. Let him fight for you. A lot of people will try to take what you have. They will take the things that you work hard for. That bread being what I'm talking about, whether it's the corporations, the government, even your insurance company, will try to withhold and minimize their liability, your compensation. So when something goes wrong, make Ben Johnson your first initial call. Not your mom, not your dad, not your brother, not your sister. And I know you love those individuals, but they can't fight for you in this particular situation like Ben Johnson Law can. So contact them at benfights.com.
And can you talk about Art and Jake's?
I can talk about Art and Jake's. You've been there. They've got really good food. They've got TVs everywhere. They've got, believe it or not, 80 TVs for you to reel in. Now, why is that important? Let me tell you why it's important. Because tonight, you've got 2 Monday Night Football games. You've got Cincy at Denver. You've got the Jets at the Dolphins. And if you pick the Dolphins, in the words of KG, man, you out your mind. Art and Jake's Sports Bar and Grill have some phenomenal things taking place there, including the heavyweights live after the Detroit-Cincinnati watch party on October 5th, right after the Lions go to Cincinnati and play the Bengals. You want to go to Art and Jake's Sports Bar and Grill to check that out. And then the post-game show. So that's while, you know, that gets you pumped up for the Lions and Bengals. And then the post-game show, it'll be Anson and Stick afterwards right there at Art and Jake's. Enjoy wall-to-wall coverage, really good food, really good beer. 4:25 kickoff. Make sure you're there to watch the Lions beat the Bengals at Art and Jake's.
Find any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone! Boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
Yeah, you know why you're going to Black Rock. You want some of that Braylon's beef, and I'm telling you, it is the meal for you. It's a 20-ounce hand-cut New York strip. I'm telling you, and you get to cook it to your own perfection, because that's what you do at Black Rock Bar and Grill. You cook on a 755-degree volcanic rock. Let's get it going. Braylon's beef, it's on the menu before a limited time. If that's not your fancy, why don't you get some of that steak and lobster, $19.99, and it is also for a limited time. Before I forget, remember when you go into Black Rock, if you mention WSN, aka Woodward Sports Network, tell them we sent you and they give you 20% off the bill. A sizzle above the rest is still here. And also, paging on Lions fans, Lions win, you win. So yesterday, if you would have gone into Black Rock Bar and Grill and told them Woodward Sports sent you, you got a free appetizer. Free appetizer. Ooh. The 5-finger discount. 1, 2, 3, 4. Free. Well, guess what? The Lions, they play next week too, so you have a chance to do it again. Lions win, you win. Black Rock Bar and Grill, it's a sizzle above the rest.
And you and I would be getting that shrimp that we talked about before, because we really like that shrimp. And speaking of Woodward Sports, I mean, Sundays are really cool. It's like smooth sailing. It's like sunny skies on a regular basis. Sun Cruiser Vodka, Iced Tea, and Woodward Sports. Nothing better than that combo. Real vodka, real iced tea, no bubbles, clean, crisp sip for you to enjoy. And just 100 calories. It's not going to fill you up with 4.5% alcohol. It's perfect for tailgates. It's perfect for a concert like Braylon went to over the weekend there in Ann Arbor. This season, let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser and Woodward Sports, but please drink responsibly.
You talk about numbers, Shep. I got some numbers for you.
Feed me. I love numbers.
All right, here's some numbers. They talked about the offensive coordinators, the defensive coordinators are leaving, the sky is falling, etc. Now, I admit after game one, I did not like what I saw. I didn't panic, but I didn't like it. And if the Bears game had been different, then the sky maybe could have fallen. But here we are. Last year, after 4 games, let's do the quarterly report. Offensive points for the Detroit Lions last year, the greatest team in Lion history offensively, point-wise, statistically. 104 points after 4 games. This season, 137. That's including that stinker in game 1. That's defensively, right. Aaron Glenn, he's leaving. We won't be able to do much better than that. Kelvin Shepard, I don't know. Does he have the same cachet? Last year, they gave up 82 points on defense through 4 games. This one, 45, I think. 75. 85, I'm off by 1. So they gave up 3 more points on that one. Yeah, sorry about that. Jared Goff last year, what would he be without Ben Johnson?
Right.
Well, here's Jared Goff last year. 1,015 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions at this point last year. This year, he's 929. He's 9 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Amon-Ra St. Brown started off bad, 13 yards in game 1. After 4 games, he was 252, 2 touchdowns, and 27 catches. This year, he's 27 catches, 302 yards. But, oh, by the way, 6 touchdowns to add to the mix. The numbers, as they say, the math is mathing for this 2025 Detroit Lions.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is the first wide receiver to produce at least 25 touchdowns, or 25 receptions, 300 receiving yards, 6 receiving TDs through his first 4 games since your favorite guy, Randy Moss, in 2007. Our thanks to Tim Twentyman, who does a great job as the Lions reporter for DetroitLions.com, came out with that. You mentioned the points for, which is really big. Detroit has scored more points than anybody else in the National Football League. When we think of the Buffalo Bills,
just think about the first game. That's
know.
including the
I
first
know,
game.
that's nuts.
13 points.
Yeah, and the last 2 weeks they've done it against what is traditionally, it's being a little bit more exposed, Baltimore. Traditionally defensive-oriented teams.
Yeah.
But Detroit, 137 points, leads the NFL. The Bills are second in that regard, 133. Detroit is on top of just the points, because I think that's the sexy part, and that's what we all gravitate to, and I understand why.
Yeah.
Okay? Detroit is a plus 48 in scoring differential. The best in the National Football League. That tells you you're getting it done on both sides of the ball. 88 points allowed. Now, the Packers have allowed 84.
Yeah.
Okay? That's pretty impressive. And the Vikings have allowed only 80. But still, the number, very strong so far.
So strong, and it's also, too, you leave plays out there. You know, what did Jared Goff say after the Chicago Bears game? They scored 52, but in a polite way, he said, we probably left 2 touchdowns on the board, and he's absolutely right. Look at the points that were left up, or look at the output that was left out yesterday. How many players were missed? Most notably by you-know-who, Jamison Williams, who. What's your thoughts on Jama? Just in yesterday, the reaction to him, the conversation, because I got a thought, too.
Well, can you be more specific on the reaction to
Well,
him?
in terms of J-Mo, did he have a bad game yesterday? Was it just an okay game yesterday? Or is it something that's alarming you into what he's doing? Is anything about it?
Yeah, it's
make
not
you feel
alarming.
any type of way?
It's not alarming to me.
Okay.
I think they're trying their best. Look, what do we all say about Detroit's wide receivers? Amon-Ra St. Brown, you said it before anybody. I saw it trending a lot on social media yesterday. You said it. He's arguably the best athlete, best wide receiver.
Yeah,
the best wide receiver in football. Not just because he plays for the Lions. You don't care. Yeah. How he runs his routes, that's how I always look at. Catches everything with his hands. He's dependable. He's a good blocker downfield, period. You look at Isaac Tesla. Big body, should be in the red zone. You said that in week 1. Jamison Williams is your vertical guy.
Right.
They're trying to get him the football downfield. I don't blame them for doing that.
Yes.
I can't tell if he's running the correct routes. You would know this better than I would. Is he running them as strongly as he should? If he's not, you'd be saying something about it. I'm not worried about it. They gave him a cushion where he feels really comfortable in his space, and he's going to be a Lion for a while. I think he's okay.
Yeah. Okay, here's my thoughts on it. I start out by saying, as a former wide receiver in the NFL, drops happen. They are part of the job. You're going to drop some passes. Some drop more than others. Some don't drop that many. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Larry Fitzgerald, you're going to be counting a lot of games in between how many drops they have. Some people, a little bit more frequency. Brandon Marshall, he was dropping 3-4 a game. My issue is it's a different conversation now. There's 2 things that kind of bother me. One, Jamison Williams, for the 4 or 5 years that he's been here, it seems like a struggle to get him implemented. Like, it seems like a struggle. Even last year with Ben Johnson, like, it just felt like forced plays. Like, oh, well, here, let's get him involved. Let's throw him a reverse.
I see.
Oh, here's an open opportunity. We're up 30, 40 points. Let's do a little play action, take it out of Dave Montgomery, and then throw it down the field. And he's eating he's having yards. He's having success. But it just never seems like it's fluid. It never seems comfortable for him, and it never seems comfortable for the offensive coordinator. I will give Johnny Morton more credit, because at least he's trying to get him implemented early in games. But to throw him in the ball early on in games, but then there's nothing in the second half. That was early on in the season. Now, yesterday, they did a job trying to get him the ball. They did a good job of trying.
He was targeted more than anybody else, by the way. You know, people look at Amon-Ra St. Brown for good reason.
They did
nobody was targeted more outside of Jerry Jeudy.
They did a great job of trying to get him the ball yesterday, target him. He had some drops. And look, you got to catch the ball. The one on the left sideline where he starts here, he looks over here, that's a tough catch. Like, that is an absolutely tough catch. Like, when you have to start here, your mind is telling yourself, ball's coming here, I'm set up everywhere, boom, ball's going to drop here, it falls like this. To immediately then have to say, shoot, it's on the opposite side. Reset your brain to start. It's a tough catch. Yeah. When you make $28.3 million, you got to start making that catch.
So should he have made that catch?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's different conversations. And if that's not one that you think he should make because you want to give him a little cushion, remember, I'm the one that lobbied for J-Mo. When everybody was out there, get rid of him, do this, send him this way. He's immature. He's this. Always had his back. I deserve this conversation. The dime that Jared Goff threw him on the right side, where he's running towards the right, that's a dream. Yeah. Like, that's a dream. You asked to be led and to be thrown right here. So whatever is going on with J-Mo, you're in a different tax bracket right now. It has to be better. It has to be consistent.
Do you consider him a guy who is sure-handed?
No.
Okay.
And we knew that coming in because he's a chess catcher. He's a chess catcher. Hands was a big thing for him in year one. Like, when he came in December of 2022, we saw it right away. Like, after the touchdown against the Jets, he had some drops. You're like, okay, this will be a thing that we'll work on. He's gotten much better. But when you decide, and this is on the Lions too, this isn't just him. When you decide you're going to pay $28 million to a wide receiver, when you decide that's the trigger you're going to pull, then you better know. Because right now it seems like they're trying to figure out a way to get their $30 million receiver almost involved with offensive game plan. And to me, that doesn't seem like the right way. I know how to use J-Mo. This thing works. Now we pay $30 million.
What's the difference then? Help me. How would it be different? You're viewing him if them forcing. Maybe I'm putting words in your mouth and stop me if I am or if I'm parsing words. Forcing to get him involved compared to just having him generically involved like they do with Amon-Ra St. Brown. We never say that about Amon-Ra St. Brown. After week one, we wanted them to get him more involved. Tell me the difference of those two things.
It just doesn't feel smooth, and it hasn't felt smooth. It should, like, they give the ball to Amon-Ra a lot, but it doesn't feel like it's forced. It feels like it's on time. If you want to switch teams to make it make more sense, Devontae Smith is the number 2 in Philly. Mm-hmm. Now, Devontae Smith is a more established number 2, but he's a number 2 wide receiver. He acts like a number 2 wide receiver. The way the system is, I mean, Philly sucks right now, but when they get him the ball, you feel it. Like, it feels organic into a certain state. Jordan Addison, look at him yesterday.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison,
first game of the year.
Yeah. And it's his first game of the year, and they already knew how to get him going, get him started.
So how would you use him? You said, by the way, Philly sucks right now. You're talking about their offense?
Well, I'm just talking about in terms of down the field.
I got you.
Like down the field. A.J. Brown's complaining. He's quoting the Bible again. Yeah, Devontae Smith's on my fantasy team, so I'm a little pissed about that.
A.J. Brown's on mine. I'm even more pissed. So tell me how you would incorporate Jameson Williams into making it look more fluid and more natural in their offense.
I mean, also, too, it sucks when you have a play like when he's wide open, streaking on the post route, he gets a little hand. There's some pressure from Myles Garrett and the defensive line. Jared doesn't have that time to get down the field. He catches that, and now we're like, oh, well, maybe. I give Johnny Morton credit for trying to get J-Mo more involved. He's done way more than Ben Johnson did with this wide receiver. I just thought it would feel more organic by week 4. Like, I just feel like it would.
Okay.
Like, because if not,
it's a feel thing. You're a feel guy. You've said that for a long time. This is a feel thing.
Because the way this feels right now is I want to see number 18 a little bit more. Like, I'm not saying bench J-Mo. This isn't a Terrion Arnold and Meek Robinson thing, but I want to see what Isaac Tesla can do. Because clearly you haven't necessarily figured out what J-Mo is to the offense, so you might as well start figuring out what 18 is at the same time.
Would you want Williams more involved in near the goal line in red zone situations, or do you think they're trying to get him downfield and that's the appropriate action right now?
I think that I think Johnny Mo should pay attention to what Andy Reid is doing with Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
However Xavier Worthy is being used by Chiefs is how you're going to use J-Mo.
Especially
because
yesterday.
It works.
Especially yesterday.
And did it feel rushed when they brought him in here?
No, but I don't study them, or I don't look at them as with that poignant eye as much as I do with the Lions. And you know what? To your point, because Amon-Ra St. Brown is so good, so steady, and so trustworthy, I suppose anything I get from Jameson Williams is gravy. I hate to put it that way, but I know when you throw it to him, it's going to be caught. When you throw it to Sam Laporta, it's going to get caught. When you've got the tag team match of Montgomery and Gibbs, I feel comfortable, right? So anything you get Jamison Williams down the field, I'm like, oh, well, that's cool too. I'm fine with that. As long as this guy's eating, I'm all right. And I got to probably look at it differently.
It's just like you always talk about with your number 2 pitcher. Going into the postseason, you want to make sure you got a number 2 starter. You want to make sure you feel confident about that. It's the same thing in the NFL. Like when you pay a guy certain money, like what the Philadelphia Eagles paid Devontae Smith, he goes out there and he acts like Jordan Addison will eventually get that. He acts like that type of receiver. They treat him as such. Like the money changes the complexity. If we're talking about young Jamison Williams is making $15 million coming into the season and having this, eventually he'll figure it out. Or the Lions will get rid of him. They did not. They doubled down. They extended him to the tune next year of $28 million. These are more conversations. Because you got a stud in the wings.
We think.
So we think on certain plays.
We think. I'll say this, and I want KG's thoughts on it too. A lot of my feeling comes back to trusting Brad Holmes. I could be dead wrong there, but because I trust him so much, because I believe the things that he does is for the betterment of the franchise, they're seeing something in Jamison Williams perhaps that I'm not quite noticing yet or understanding why he might be taking a while to get on track. KG, what were you going to say?
No, and I wanted to ask Brady this because I'm glad you brought up the fact that Johnny Mo is trying to get J-Mo more involved.
We talked about that.
A little bit more than what Ben Johnson was doing. But, one, you don't think this will get better throughout the season, like the connection to J-Mo or them kind of forcing the ball to J-Mo, like you said, because we have seen it work. I mean, the 2 catches for a 109-yard game that he had earlier in the year, pretty good when it's working. But do you think that'll get better as the year goes along? And my second question is, do you think they need to get him the ball in different ways? Like you said, Xavier Worthy. We saw Ben Johnson do the end arounds a lot more with J-Mo. Is that another way they can start getting him the ball to where he can be effective?
Yeah, 100%. You got to get the ball in his hand, and you notice when he has the ball in his hand, he's dialed in a bit more. He's more mature in games. He stays in. He locks in for blocking. He can make these plays when you get it to him often and early. Sometimes just getting the balls in the hands of a playmaker like that is those jet sweeps.
Yeah.
Jet sweep options, little things like that. Maybe you get him some confidence. Maybe you get him locked into the game. And then maybe from there, you take the shots down the field. What was the first question you asked?
No, but do you think it'll improve as the season goes?
But okay, I'm glad you asked that. That's my issue. That's my concern. Like J-Mo's not a rookie.
Yeah.
J-Mo's not year 2.
Yeah.
J-Mo's not year 3.
Yeah.
If you want me to keep going,
No,
J-Mo's not year 4.
This is year 4 for him.
Excuse me, J-Mo's not year 3. He's year 4. So this is year 4 for him, and I just want it to look a little bit more
natural.
I got you.
We still have 13 games left. So, dang, it's going fast. 13 games left. It's still a lot of time. And you've seen what this offense is. I just read you off the numbers. Like, the offense it's doing its thing. Johnny Mo is dialed in. I just want that piece to dial in. And I wish it would have been a little bit more dialed in.
He's almost on par for as many catches as he had a year ago. Last year, he had 58 rocks over 1,000 yards. The question I would, knowing that there's only one football, knowing that you've got so much talent around you, does he really need to be targeted that often? Does he really need to have that many catches? For him to be that explosive and him that influential in a game, does he really need
not necessarily
that many catches?
No.
I don't think he does.
And you know what? And that's fair. Then why'd you pay him $30 million essentially?
It's a great question.
Because if that's the case, because my whole thing that I argued, somebody that sat in that very chair who's in the back right now, argued with him because he was on the side. We don't need Jamison Williams. You can get anybody, any 4-2 wide receiver. This was the conversation in the offseason. Well, we don't have to pay him extra. We can get any 4-2 wide receiver. It's about stretching vertically down the field. Well, now I'm opposite, and I told him that was foolishness. J-Mo, what he does is worth more than that.
That wasn't me, by the way.
It was not. But now I'm arguing kind of in the same way that person was. If you're talking about just being a vertical threat, and that's all we need him for, then why are we paying him $30 million?
Yeah, no, dead on. It's funny how our roles have almost reversed.
Yeah.
You were a big support of him early, and now you're able to look at it with a critical eye. I was very critical of him early in his career, and now I look at it with a more lenient eye when it comes to Jamison Williams.
Money changes that, and it sucks that it does, but there comes different conversation, different thoughts. I think it's different responsibilities and different owners. When you start talking about that type of money, this is what I saw in that player, which I believe that I believe that he's that. Like I always said that, but I'm talking about what I see right now hasn't shown me that, and it doesn't look like they believe that in the offense. They're trying to figure it out. Like, I played in this league. Like, when I was trying to get my bonus, they weren't trying to figure it out. They knew what I was worth. They knew what I had done. They paid me as such, and we moved on. Like, in year 4, they weren't like, all right, well, we're going to give him this. I wish they would have. I wish that they would have dropped that bag on me and said, yeah, we believe in you. You know, NFL was different back then.
Yeah.
But that's not what the case was.
There's a couple of different things I noticed yesterday during the NFL Week 4, and I wanted your thoughts on it. And both have to do with receivers. So apologies. I'm not automatically assuming because you played wide out at the highest level that I always have to bring wide receivers into the conversation. But Tampa was playing Philly. You brought up Philly. You know, they don't go downfield. Tampa does a pretty good job of going downfield. Baker Mayfield hit Mbuka downfield, right sideline, unbelievable throw and concentration on the catch. He kind of gave up. He left 2 defenders, in case you didn't see it, folks, 2 defenders in the dust, all right? The throw came right just around the 20-yard line all the way down to the Philly 40, and then both defenders fell down. And Mbuka probably stopped right around the 15, 10-yard line, and then slowly backpedaling, walking into the end zone. Probably cost him about 5, 6, maybe 7 seconds of time, and that time would have been valuable at the end. And then Adonai Mitchell, same thing in Indianapolis, not exactly, but he celebrated too early. As a guy who played at the highest level and seeing those 2 plays, how much does it infuriate you as a competitor knowing that things you got to act differently, man? You can't act like this in the ultimate team sport.
Emeka Egbuka is a hell of a wide receiver.
Yeah,
He's a hell of a player. I've said that when he was at the other schools, respect to him. But that's what you get out of Ohio State. It's about them. It's an individualistic conversation. Like, that's individuality at its finest. Like, to slow walk, need those seconds, and, you know, make it about you. Look, it's a hell of a play. Is what it is. He made it about him. I don't necessarily condone it, but, hey, he made the play. So I'll let his coach deal with that. Adonai Mitchell, congratulations to the Dunce Club, and welcome. And welcome. Just like Deshaun Jackson, who notably did it on the punt return. He did it twice that year. He actually did it in the USA, the All-American game?
Yeah, how do you
not
learn
it, and
from
then
that?
did it in later year, in the NFL. Get to the end zone first.
Yeah.
Like, that's where you get your money. Pay dirt, as you call it. Where you get your chicken, as you know. Get to the end zone, and then you can do all the things. Like, the fact that you're celebrating mentally, because that's what happened. He's like, okay, cool. I had worked on this. I'm going to hit him with, oh, shoot, where'd the ball go?
Yeah.
Like, he was looking for the celebration.
I got the play.
Like, the only person that I know that can think about what he's going to do before he gets in the end zone 5 yards away was Reggie Bush. And we've seen him do it a million times. Jump from the 6, jump from the 7, and he's in the air. Well, I think I might switch it from this side. I think I might walk in like this. If you're not Reggie Bush, stop thinking at the 5. Get in the end zone.
I was going to say Deion Sanders too, because he does the sidestep a little bit.
Yeah.
But he made that always so so popular. That to me, I don't understand as much as you see that happen to players in the past.
Right.
And I'm sure they're reminded of how it can continue to I get the excitement.
You get excited. I'm not.
Jonathan Taylor did it last year.
That's
excitement.
a fact, yeah.
But it's a different level because now the celebration, now scoring a touchdown is so big. Scoring a touchdown has always been major, but now it's because of social media. Now it's because of the dances. Now it's because what comes with scoring. Scoring comes with branding, marketing, dollars, face out there, going viral. I mean, people think about it more. Like, you guys practice celebrations. The guys legitimately practice celebrations. So it comes with the territory. But he's on a team, I believe, in the Colts. I think this team is a good team. I think they have something there. I think what Steichen is doing is good. You won't see this from him again. Like, this will be a one and done type situation. This won't happen again. Deshaun Jackson did it in high school and did it in NFL. But Andy Reid was his coach. You didn't see it again. Andy Reid brought him in, and then boom, it didn't happen again. He's in the right system to where you won't see it again. If you see it again, then that's the person. That's just the type of player he is.
That's again. I mean, he's on a team last year where it happened. I'm surprised you don't learn from it in that regard.
Yeah.
But to your point,
Texas doesn't care. He was.
What's that?
You said Adonai was on the team last year, or are you talking about Jonathan?
Yeah, Jonathan.
I guess Jonathan Taylor and
Jonathan.
then Adonai did
that's the frustrating thing. I would think if you're a Colts fan, But to your point, I mean, those things matter. The Bucks lost by 5. I don't know how, if they have those 6 extra seconds, if they take advantage of it. But as a team, doesn't that have to be?
Packers did.
But, yeah, they did. But doesn't that have to be patrolled by the leadership within the room, or do you think that's a coaching situation?
Well, the coach will have to step in because apparently his leader did it last year.
Yeah.
So apparently, this is where the coach steps in, or this is where the owner. This is where she can come in the locker room and maybe she can step in because she's everywhere else.
Right, I got you. Yeah. By the way, you brought up Andy Reid. Over 200 wins now.
Wow.
Two separate franchises.
That'll never be done again.
That's really impressive.
It'll never be done again.
You know, I mean, you're in Philly. 224 or 244 wins for him? It's 224 wins as an Eagles head coach, 200 wins as the Chiefs sideline boss.
Wow.
And by the way, hats off to Patrick Mahomes yesterday. I mean, look, you
back.
said Baltimore's in really bad shape. You said that for 2 weeks now. Baltimore is vulnerable. I'm not counting them out in their division, although Pittsburgh won yesterday. A lot of credit to the Steelers. Didn't put up huge numbers, but who cares, right? I mean, they're 3-1, bottom line.
Good job by the offensive coordinator moving DK Metcalf around early. Just because he's 6'4", just because he's a mutant, just because he runs 4.2, 4.3. Slow down, sir. Don't come into the studio. Appreciate you. Like, just because he's that don't mean you just line him up and run go routes or throw him post routes. They moved him around a lot early in the game, moved him in the slot, moved him on this side, moved him in the backfield, got him off balance, gave him the ball in space. Kudos to them.
Yeah, really good coaching is what you're saying.
Kudos.
So, I know people have questioned Mike Tomlin left and right recently, but in fairness, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, again, didn't have a big game, but he knows where to go with the ball. Yeah. I mean, DK Metcalf, 5 rocks, 126 yards. 126 of Aaron Rodgers' 200 yards went to DK Metcalf. He's getting the guy who's a difference maker for his offense.
My fantasy wideout.
He's getting him the football. They don't have that many
also
on Pittsburgh.
You know what else helped them? I don't know how to be moving forward in the season, but Kenneth Gainwell ran the ball well.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to run the ball. When you can run the ball, you can do some damage.
Yeah, 100 yards or 90.
Quinshon Judkins, he ran the ball early in that series on the Lions that allowed Joe Flacco some space. He made some on-time throws because of the run game a little bit. But once that run game kind of disappeared, anyway, you get that.
But you said this about Baltimore, and Baltimore was beaten. I started to say Patrick Mahomes, 4 touchdowns, 270 yards. He balled out, okay? I mean, he got Xavier Worthy the football in the right space, Pacheco the football in the right space. He made the plays you expected to play. The guy who did not, even though it's not like he cost him the game. That's not what I'm referring to. But and it's only his first interception, but Lamar Jackson, another key fumble in a game like that. And now Kansas City's won 7 of the last 8. So I was thinking about you while watching that game. I'm like, damn, Kansas City is handling Baltimore much like Baltimore was handled, not as decisively, by the Lions. And they've got issues.
They've got issues for 2 reasons. One, their offensive line sucks. Like, the offensive line is not good, and then Ron Stanley is out. That hurts them.
Yeah.
That affects them. Lamar can't do what he wants to do. And also, the Lions have gave them a blueprint. They added some things that what Kansas City and Buffalo have done in the playoffs to the Baltimore Ravens, and then you see it frustrates Lamar. It keeps him in passing lanes. I saw that fake stunt that Jack Campbell and DJ Reed did, where one fake jump, they ran back. I saw Chiefs do the same thing. They did the same thing, and it does Lamar with I can't get the ball over there, so I drop it. Now you got guys around, and the offensive line, they be getting beat up. Like, he's started looking that way. Maybe the Browns game, you started to see him. Remember I was talking about KG Friday when you get to smiling and saying, man, this right here and blah, blah, blah. He looked like that against the Lions for the better part of that game. He looked like that again. He actually looked like he was throwing the towel. He wasn't, but the team was just – there was nothing that they could do.
It's good news, at least out of Lions practice facility. Dan Campbell says there's a good chance the Lions start Aleem McNeil's return to play clock this week. From physically unable to perform list.
Love that.
So that would be a welcome addition to Detroit's defensive line.
This is for the people in the chat. How many of you almost fainted when Aiden Hudson went down?
Man,
Don't worry, I'll wait. Man, you should see. I was watching the game with my dad by this time when this happened. And even he It's like
Holding his breath for a moment.
100%, because it was like, no, not again, especially the way that he's been playing. But that's good news about Lehman.
32 sacks through his first 4 seasons, and remember, he missed half a season last year, more than half a season.
Yeah.
Most in Lions history.
It's another guy you talk about on par in terms of where they were at last year versus this year. We only played 4 games last year, and he was at what, infamously? He was 7.5?
Yeah, 7.5.
He's at 4 sacks through 4 games. Remember what I said? The number for me, Aiden Hutchinson had to have 15.5 or more for me to take him serious as the elite.
That's right.
That just is what it is. Because anything underneath, I mean, you could be Hassan Reddick and be the beneficiary and have 14.5 sacks. He is on that pace to have 17. He's playing well.
Dan Campbell also said, according to Colton Pouncey of The Athletic, that DJ Reed will be down a while. Says his injury is not season-ending and that they'll get him back, but it's a big loss for an extended period of time.
Man, first interception as a Detroit Lion, and now he's going to be sitting out for, when they say not season ending but a while, that definitely is 6 to 8.
Yeah, I was going to say that's
that's
the tail end of your schedule, isn't it? Yeah,
that's 6 to 8. Here we go again. Look, at least the good news is we will be getting Lehman back soon. Losing DJ Reed, it's tough though because Terran Arnold hasn't been the best this season. Meek Roberts is playing well, but now you force him to become.
Well, Meek Robertson wasn't even that good yesterday.
And that's. Yeah. Here we go.
So
the secondary is.
And on top of what you're saying, it's not like this guy comes back. This is not a computer job where you're sitting in a cubicle. I left for 2 weeks vacation. I'm back, and give me the paperwork. I can start punching in numbers. It takes a while to get back into that flow.
It does, and also it just in the immediate flow right now. Just look at the next 3 teams, the next 3 opponents you play. You play Patrick Mahomes, who's got his guy back, and Xavier Worthy, and figuring some things out. Xavier Worthy allows some passes to seep into Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquise Brown. You look at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
They don't have their guy, but they still got the best duo in the league. That's
sure.
who you got to see. And then, oh, by the way, who comes that third week? That's the Bucks.
Yeah.
No Mike Evans potentially, but Godwin's back, and Emeka Buka's been playing like an elite number 2 in this league. Those are 3 good wide receiver cores that you're going up against without your guy.
Yeah, and 2 of those quarterbacks have been playing close to elite football.
Baker's
over
elite.
the last couple. I mean,
He had a bad game last game, but
the interception was. Look, he's trying. It's a fine line. He's trying to make a play because that's who he is.
Yeah.
Like I say this all the time. We all know who Jared Goff is, right?
Yes.
Jared Goff, you're not going to get him confused with Lamar Jackson. Well, that's probably a bad example. Nobody is. But you're not getting him confused with Patrick Mahomes or any of those guys who can move. Baker Mayfield.
you're getting him confused with Tom Brady these days.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. But here's the thing. Baker Mayfield, he makes plays like this. He looks like he looks down. He weaves his way through traffic. He looks up. He finds a guy, and I'll be damned if he doesn't complete the pass. He tried to do that against Philadelphia, and it's easy to say, just throw it out of bounds. But that's not his DNA.
And also, too, even on a bigger scale, that's what they pay him to do.
I know.
And that's what everybody that watches Baker, what do we all say? Baker makes it happen.
Yes.
So Baker knows that.
Yeah.
Like, Baker's operating that, so that's why I'm not mad at Baker for making it happen. If Jared Goff tries to run out of pocket and throw crossbody backside and throws an interception, I'm pissed at Jared Goff. Like, that's not your brand of football. Although, the way he's playing right now, he might make that throw.
When we come back, more football discussion, but also the Tigers will open up the preseason.
They made it?
Postseason.
Right.
Yeah.
So
They made
my
it.
God.
The postseason tomorrow in Cleveland. How do you look at it? Do you look at it as an epic collapse, or you look at it like, hey, all we had to do was get into the tournament. I'm happy that they are. This is the Braylon Edwards Show on Woodward Sports.
And real quick, before we get to our break, I got to clean up these super chats. My apologies for getting to them a little bit late in the show, but shout out to everybody that's contributing right now. We got $5 from Rando Smalls. By far my favorite 2 hours of my day. Keep up the great job, guys. Go Detroit.
Rando.
All day long.
Appreciate
Shout
you.
out. Middle-aged sneaker chick with a $2 super chat.
There we go. That's a great
I
name.
love that name.
Yeah,
She's the
hey.
best. She be on it, too.
She said, I worked that concert, Bray. It was fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. And shout out.
I should have known.
Shout out to the OG Michael Weary in the chat. I'll be seeing you. Much love.
Hey, Mike.
$2 super chat. Bray, please give us your take on J-Mo, and you did. So shout out to him.
Also,
100%.
some folks, I used to hate Baker, but now I love what he's turned into in his career. That's an honest person right there in the chat. Coach Leo keeping it real with us as well, so that's really good stuff. We appreciate the chat. Keep it coming. We'll make sure we get your voice heard through KG here on the Braylon Edwards
Yes,
Show.
sir. Let's tell them about Jack's Car Wash.
Jack's Car Wash is the car wash for everybody. It's the car wash for me. It's the car wash for you. We'll get you a free car wash to start. You see this beautiful day, this extended summer that we're having? Man, you can't tell me it wouldn't be great to have a car wash from Jack's. Text WSN to 888-522-1729. Again, that's WSN to 888-522-1729. Free vacuums, free compressed air, free mat cleaning. They do the works. They take your car through the gambit, and then they bring it out sparkling clean for you. And then if that's not enough, they got the unlimited plan. $29.99 a month is all it costs. You get car wash all day long. I'm talking however many car washes you want a day, you can have throughout that month. $29.99 is not a lot to pay. I pay it. You should too, man. Jack's Car Wash. Pull up.
And Braylon, if the good people need a doctor, where should they go?
You should go see Dr. Pierce, man. Scan the QR code above my head. Dr. Jeff S. Pierce. You can catch him on Big D Energy on Tuesdays, and you can catch him on this show, Braylon Edwards Show with Shep, on Thursdays. Michigan Sports and Spine. He will get you right, whether it's a shoulder, a back, a knee, an arm, an ankle. It does not matter. He can diagnose it all. Trust the guy at the Red Wings, the Tigers, Lions, and everyone else. Trust. It's Dr. Jeff Pierce.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face. New focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Today on the Braylon Edwards Show, we talked to a lot of Lions fans. Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning, big Lions fans, big community people, treating you like family members. They've been doing it for over 40 years. So if you're looking for true diehard Lions fans and Tigers and Red Wings and Pistons and the local schools, look no further than Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning. They have lived through the successes and the disappointments for 40 years in this town, but you'll never be disappointed with their service. Heating, cooling, indoor air quality, water heaters, whole home generators. They can take care of it for you, and they can do it with great trust from you as well. That's not an easy thing to do. They don't take it lightly, and they appreciate the relationship they will build with you throughout your entire time owning your home. And right now, DTE gas customers get a free furnace tune-up starting December or up through December 1st. Call them today, 734-238-3839. That's 734-238-3839. Or scan the QR code just above my head and tell them the Braylon Edwards Show sent you.
We got to show more love to Detroit Lions last year and what they were able to do amidst all the injuries that they dealt with. I'll give you an example. Last year, Lions go 15-2. How many defensive injuries did they have? How many notable stars were out? Whether it was Anzalone, whether it was who, 97, Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, 24. 24.
Okay.
Like, all these players are out, right? Look at what the Baltimore, and they 15-2. Look at the Baltimore Ravens. Like, all their defensive players out.
Namdi's out for the year.
Right.
Neck
Namdi's
injury.
out. Yep. Matabukwe is out. Van Noy is out right now. Roquan Smith is out right now. Jair Alexander is out right now. Hamilton, I think. Like, and it just looks like a team that is completely falling apart.
So the next man up mentality is real in Detroit.
Hell yeah, it's real. Because
there's no doubt.
This is Baltimore. This is the Baltimore Ravens. Every year they tell me they're the best front office. They tell me that they have the guys, the culture. These guys are falling apart with injuries, man.
It's an incredibly violent sport.
Yeah.
I've always felt like if you could, and I know the league doesn't necessarily want to do this, I think the rosters need to be expanded. You've got 53-man rosters. I think they should be 60. And I think you should have more people dress on Sundays just in case. It's changed, man. I was at Pistons Media Day, and a bunch of us were talking about a lot of different things in sports in general and how different sports have changed. The NBA, the stopping, the starting, the quickness, the speed, all those different things. And how it's just different. It's played differently. The NFL has changed drastically from way back in, even the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay? And I think we're just burying our head in the sand if we think these injuries, and a lot of them are soft tissue injuries, aren't going away. Something's got to be done about it. And I wish – now, maybe there's not good enough players out there, okay? That could be. Maybe there aren't enough good players in the world to take up 6 more spots. But I would take them from the practice squads and keep the practice squads lighter.
NFL is cheap. It's like the more you can make, the more you want to save, and the more you find ways to save. You don't want to add more players because now you got to pay more players. There's more health insurance things and the whole 9 yards. So they'll make up a bunch of excuses. They're cheap, simply put.
What do the Lions do? Dan Campbell felt great about the win, but also admitted afterwards there are things that they need to shore up. I love that attitude because it's so true, right? Defensively, I thought they were really good. But also defensively, he understands that he's got 2 key guys, DJ Reed, Terrion Arnold, who are limping a little bit. Here's what he had to say after the game Sunday.
I don't, we all saw Reed's, I don't know I don't know what that's going to be or how long. I mean, certainly I cannot imagine him playing next week at a minimum till we get more tests done. And I don't think TA is a major thing. No, I don't know. There again, I don't know about him next week, but it's certainly not as significant as what, as what Reed had.
So, and then we've already updated you on that. What can be done and how quickly can they move? We know, and we've told people this. I'm sure they know by now. Tuesdays, because you're out of the building, it's mandatory, NFLPA, get a day off, rightfully so. You're out of the building. Management is there, and they're bringing in warm bodies to try out. Not just because of injuries. They're doing it to upgrade their talent, right? Should the Lions go out and make a phone call to Stephon Gilmore and Asante Samuel Jr.? I would say yes.
Yeah.
Those are 2 guys. Now, those are 2 free agents who have yet to sign. There are others whose names are connected with other teams, L'Jarius Sneed, for example, that perhaps you could trade for. But those 2 guys are free agents.
I would say this. Brad does a good job of saving money, having money available for whatever free agent he wants to pay or whatever guy that they've drafted that they pay, whether it's, you get the drift on that one. This is also what that money is for. Like, you're in a situation right now where you have one DB who you're still not sure on. You're still trying to he's still trying to find his way, yet he has nagging groins, all the time. And so you're trying to work through that space. Now you have a DB where was it just me? Or when you were listening to Dan Campbell at that podium, like, he sounded like it was something serious. Like, he had a sound to him that sounds eerily familiar to last year when we were dealing with some of the more serious injuries, like Alex Anzalone, how long he was going to be out. He was like, and, obviously, he took a deep breath and looked down. I haven't seen Dan Campbell take a deep breath and look down in a very long time. So if you're talking about this guy's going to be out that you paid, this is your guy. This was the marquee free agent that you made, was DJ Reed, and your other guy, Terrence Hurt, 100%. Because as I just outlined for you, the next 3 weeks, you don't want to be in a position to where Aiden's playing well, the defensive line is playing well, they're doing all the things necessary, but then you have lapses in formation, like the Philadelphia Eagles did last year. Yesterday. They gave up 3 wide open touchdowns, or 2 wide open touchdowns and another big play to where they just had a mental lapse. And this is with their starters. You don't want to put your defense in that type of position to where Jack's playing well, the defensive line is doing well, and then Kirby and Brian Branch are trying to cover extra because their guys are hurt or down or out. Bringing some guys that know what they're doing, and the 2 that you made, I've always loved Stephon Gilmore. I think you bring him in, he's older, so what? He's a veteran. He's a former Defensive Player of the Year, and he would definitely be enough to cover you through this time. And you got the money to spend. Don't allow, 2 injuries and a bad play to – because everything is pivotal.
Yeah, no,
I think
it's an excellent point. We are so wrapped up in using that unspent money on one specific player.
This is what it's for.
And you're right, this is what it's for. Now, how comfortable do they feel with Khalil Dorsey and Rock Yassin, who are the backups at those 2 positions? Would be great if Terry and Arnold could be back next week, but from what we gathered in Dan Campbell's conversation there with the media, that would be a no, and it's definitely a no for DJ Reed for an extended period of time.
Yeah, he'll be out for a while. And the backup thing is cool. Next man up is definitely cool. All right, cool. Next man up. That mentality, the Lions do it well. Guys like Pat O'Connor, Nowalski, they show up, they make plays. Yeah. Next man up. But this is different. This is kind of slightly different. You're going into these battles potentially for a couple of weeks with the backups being the starters. There's a reason, ladies and gentlemen, these guys are backups. There's a reason why a DB is DB3. There's a reason why a DB is 4 or 5. There's a reason. That DB that's 4 or 5, he's not another starter waiting in the wings. He's a guy that's not nearly as good as guy 1 and 2 in this situation. So word to the wise. I mean, I'm always going out and get players. I'm not always trying to say that, but this is just one where protect yourself. Is there anything wrong with protecting yourself?
No, there's nothing wrong with it at all. It's encouraged, and it should be done. This is not a similar situation to Trevor Nowalski making a nice tackle on Lamar Jackson last week and contributing to the defensive pursuit yesterday, because those guys are not as exposed as the corners.
Yeah, 1,000%. They're on an island. Like, it's a reason why Revis Island, the island part, is because they're out there by themselves. They're locked into these wide receivers. And if DJ Reed, who's your number 1 DB as of right now, if he's not going to be there, you got some names coming up. You have some names coming up, and at least somebody like Stephon Gilmore, whether he gets cooked or not, he's not worried about getting cooked at the line of scrimmage. He's going to dial into his technique, and he'll be able to win some of those matchups, or even another guy. But that's tough.
Somebody in the chat said this, Shep, the problem, though, is the Lions are in the red going into next year, and Brad is trying to carry over as much money as he can into next year. Look, that may be the case, but I don't think that is going to prevent him right now from grabbing a guy who might be a free agent and you're only going to use for a year. And by the way, he's fully aware of where they're going to save some money next year.
Yeah, 100%. Sounds like you should have waited to make a move.
Sounds like he should have made it?
Some extension he planned on making.
Oh, a certain extension?
Bray on that J-Mo extension.
All right. Yeah, that's the second time you brought that up in the show.
He on that.
Yeah.
I never said he should get extended before the end of the season. Like, I wanted to see, because I knew the type of numbers that you were talking about. So that's the only reason I say it.
Yeah, no, it's fair. Yeah. I do believe, in fairness to the Lions, though, they know the player.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think they know.
If you know, then why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
But your point's a valid one, man. I mean, why do it if you don't have to just yet? Now, people will use the counter argument to that with a guy like, and I'm not saying they're equivalent, so don't go nuts in the chat, Tarek Skubal. Got to extend him right now. You don't have to yet.
Yeah.
Why would you? Because you know what you have. perhaps the Lions know what they have. That's the only point. And speaking of Tarek Skubal, he and the Tigers will begin their pursuit of a World Series tomorrow in Cleveland. When we come back, what about that celebration? Did you have an issue with it? And how far can this team go? We'll discuss that on the Braylon Edwards Show when we come back. And right after this.
Really quick before we go to break, let's clean up some of these super chats. We appreciate everybody contributing to the show today and in the future. Shout out Rando Smalls, $5 super chat from him.
He's the man.
I look at it. No, he is definitely. Shout out Rando. I look at it like this, Shep. Crazy Clown and I picked the Tigers to get here, so we are ahead of schedule. I picked the Tigers over the Dodgers in 6.
Wow. Well, you are more optimistic than I am, my friend. First of all, I was wrong because I picked the Tigers to win the division. That's the second straight year I picked them to win the division. And so I was wrong there, but I did think they would. We said this on the air the other day, on Friday. I thought they would come in as a wild card. Very disappointed that they didn't win the division. But them playing the Dodgers in the World Series, that would be a stunner to me. Going 7-17.
Shep, I know you're not a liar, Shep. You're very moral, intact type of individual that I respect a lot. This is now the second time that you said you picked the Tigers last year to win the division. You did?
I did. I picked them to
lies you tell.
No.
The lies.
Get him, Bray.
The lies you
Get
tell.
him, Bray.
No one picked the Tigers to win the division.
They were 10.5 back.
I did. No. I said before the season.
Before the season. Okay.
Before the season, I picked them to win the division.
That was
I did not pick them when they had a 0.02% chance.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I picked them before the year to win the division. I picked them before this year to win the division.
And Bray, to his point,
I got my side eye on. Shep.
Right.
Yep.
I'm just having my side eye on.
Bray, to his point, a lot of people thought
that
that the AL Central was garbage and that the Tigers would have easy pickings with it. Yeah. I think we were a year out on that, but it's all good, man. It's all good. But shout out.
Cleveland would argue, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cleveland would argue because they played some pretty good ball down the stretch.
What year is this for Scott Harris?
Year 3?
3.
Yep.
So Brad Holmes in year 3. Is that NFC championship game?
Yes. In San Francisco. Yep.
It's a little different for us on the Tiger side.
Nah, we'll talk about when you get back.
Most definitely.
In Braylon, in fairness to Braylon, he could say the American League's wide open. Now, I told you at the trade deadline, Seattle's the team. Mm-hmm. They're the 2 seed. We'll talk more about it on the other side.
Yeah, I can't wait to get y'all thoughts. One more super chat.
MVP race too.
Yeah,
that's a fun conversation too because it's
the judge and rally thing. Yeah,
it's nothing in the middle. It's either you really think he deserves it, or you really can't believe that they would give it to anybody but him.
Yeah,
there's no like. Well, I mean, I could see how. No. Nah. You're either fully on Aaron Judge's side or you're fully on the Story side.
I'm not gonna have a problem with either one who wins it, but I would vote for Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, you like the Story.
No, I think the position matters.
The catcher and it's switch hitter.
Yeah, I think that's all part of it. Yep.
Nah, shout out to the big dumper. He definitely dumped on us a couple times. But
I was there. I was at that game.
He sure did.
At that game.
We got one more super chat to clean up before we get out of here. Shout out $5 from RJ Graham. Braylon, I don't like the cradle catch and it bounces out. Why do wide receivers go away from the triangle catch? Yeah. Is it not the best way to catch the ball?
A lot of individuals don't grow up with the technique of the triangle catch or the high point pitch. Catch it here, 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 and it's like a clock. You know, it's like you start here, and as you get here, it switches, it goes around, and once you get down to the waist is when it opens up. A lot of people aren't taught that. You know, a lot of people don't have that technique, and they don't have confidence in the hands. I have. I'm not about to put my family's business out here like that. Some individuals just aren't comfortable catching with the hands, and so the body becomes the way that they learn how to catch the ball, and they get good enough at doing it. So it becomes that, but it doesn't give you room for error. If you miss the body catch, if it hits against the pads and all that, it's bouncing out. Like if you catch with your hands, you see a lot of people catch or tap it to themselves or things of that nature.
So if it's down here, right around your waist, because I remember, I think Cooper Kupp did this as well as perhaps any receiver I've seen. Down here, he's always catching the triangle catch.
Right.
You're not doing it that way. You're going right there. You're opening it like that.
Yeah, I'm opening it like this.
I got you. Okay.
So
there's no right or wrong way, right?
Yeah, it's what you're comfortable with. To the bread basket, and then once it gets to the waist, that's when I switch to here.
Copy. Okay.
And then take it down and then switch like that.
Very cool. Yeah. Educational.
Yeah.
Great a great conversation. Thank you for that in the chat, and then we get the props going with Braylon as well.
Entertaining and educational. But Braylon, if people trying to get that workout on and get the gun show like you, tell them about Planet Fitness, man.
The gun show. Hey, I've been working on these biceps, man. And I've been doing it at Planet Fitness because my fitness is essential, and so is yours. With over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations, look, they're everywhere. They're all around. There's one, I guarantee you, around the corner for you, so pull up. Like, they're not judging you. They want to work you out to your own pace. And speaking of working you out, they have trainers in there that can get you right, the questions. They can help you become what you want to become. And then also, too, we're welcoming new journeys. We want you to start your journey here at Planet Fitness. We want you to know that the locker rooms are squeaky clean. We want you to know that the people are good. We're friendly. It's a vibe. Start your journey
It's a vibe.
today. And if you've already started working out, well, come to Planet Fitness and we'll get you to the next level. Your fitness is essential.
It is.
The Super Bowl parade in Detroit will be one for the record books. Detroit just does it different. Woodward Sports, your official Super Bowl or Bust Lions network. Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Baligian. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions.
If you are looking to upgrade your relaxation game, check out Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest, located near the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road. Experience luxury comfort with Dr. Eric Duncan, the wellness doc, creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. Book a visit at www.massagechairhouse.com or scan that QR code above my head. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
Tell the people about Les Stanford since you wanted to do it so well.
I would love to tell people about Les Stanford because there's a lot of really good people there. There are true Michiganders. I think there's a difference between people from the state of Michigan, people from the Midwest, than there are other places. They care about you. Les Stanford has always felt that way about the community. Look at the great deals that they've got going on. The Hummer 599, the Lyric 489, the Equinox 229, all plus tax. They've got an incredible inventory from which to choose for you. The right place for your exterior or interior. They're going to put you in a car or an SUV that's comfortable for your payment and comfortable for you to drive as well. The massive inventory is there for you to go around, peruse, and then pick the right vehicle. Les Stanford Buick and GMC. Check out their website today, lesstanford.com.
Can't believe you beat me, man. That's BS, bro.
Can't believe what?
Hey, man.
Because I went against KG in fantasy this week.
Can't sweat the results.
And
I'm
lost.
back, baby. 2-2, baby.
Took my first L this past week, man. But it's okay because as my pastor said in church on Sunday, sometimes you got to take an L to get the win in the end. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it could be worse. Your daughter could be beating you, and that's what's happening to me.
Oh, God.
I need somebody to come through.
How old is your daughter?
She's 21, but still, she doesn't really pay attention to it.
Did she do auto? But sometimes she did auto draft.
No, actually, she didn't.
Okay.
She was making some very questionable drafts.
Obviously, it's working out.
Right, it ain't too questionable.
A
little bit
Shep
better.
hating.
Right, a little bit. I see it.
I always root
It's
for my
okay,
kids.
Shep.
I always root for my kids, but I sure as heck wasn't rooting for this weekend. So the Tigers, everybody's rooting for the Tigers this weekend.
Who?
They clinched a playoff spot on Saturday. They did so with a win in
tough
Boston,
postseason.
and then they celebrated. And I know there's a lot of people, at least from what I saw on social media, who had a problem with the celebration. I didn't. And the reason I didn't is because I think athletes and coaches put a lot of time, a lot of effort in the offseason and during the regular season. Everybody has goals. I hope everybody does. Some short-term, some long-term, some single-oriented, and some team-oriented. You accomplished one of the goals to get to the playoffs. You deserve, after 161 games at that time, to celebrate accomplishing one of the goals. What was your take on it?
2009, I got traded to the Jets. We limped into the playoff, got to the AFC Championship, lost to the Colts. All offseason, it was getting back. The pressure to get back, bringing in people, doing different things, going through the season in which we start off 9-2. And then we played against the New England Patriots, 9-2. I've told the story a million times. They beat us 49-3, then we lose some games along the way. And now we go from expecting to win the AFC East for the first – it's the first time they won the AFC East. It's been like 30, 40 years. Yeah. Like, win the AFC East. It's been the first time I ever had won a division at the time. I'm excited. We're fighting for it. Then we start having lapses. Then we start losing games to teams we shouldn't have lost games to. And then we essentially go from winning the division to the 6th seed or the 5th seed. So we not snuck in, but we were the 5th seed. Mm-hmm. It wasn't what we thought. We got there and win round 1. I forgot who we played. Oh, we played the Colts. Beat the Colts in round 1. Round 2, we played that very team, the New England Patriots. Number 1 seed. It's a rematch against them. Beat them up pretty bad. BTA, as you guys like to say. And then we get to the AFC Championship. I say that to say this. The goal is to get to the dance. Like, the goal is to get to the dance. Yes, we want them to win the division. Yes, we want the Tigers to win it. Yes, we want to say, yes, we finally won. I'm going to say something else. Yes, we finally won the division. Yes, we're back. Yes, we did what we set out to do. Yes, we got we won the division, maybe get a 1-2 seed. So now we get home field advantage, the whole 9 yards. It didn't happen that way, but you still have a chance. You are in the dance. There's 162 games. You know how many weeks they put in? Yeah. You know how much time is spent listening to people like us ramble on about what you're not doing well and how you're falling apart, which is true. Yeah. But at the end of the day, they got in.
But right did now, you celebrate those when you were with the Jets?
Well, it's different. Baseball has a different culture. Baseball celebrates. Like, baseball, I don't know when they started, 6-7 years ago, but they pull out the champagne, they pull out the goggles. It's a part of it. I can't be mad that that's the culture. Right. It wasn't the culture in the NFL to, when the season's over, hell, some teams don't even play the last game. Yeah. So it's a different culture, but you're happy you're in. Because no one's having this conversation if in a couple weeks the Tigers are in the second round of the playoffs. And now they have an opportunity to go against whoever, Seattle or whatever. Or now they're in the third round and they're in the ALCS. So, no, I don't have a problem with it.
All right, neither do I. What should we be focusing on? The fact that this team finished 3-13 in their last 16.
Oh, shoot.
7-17 in the month of September. And there's no team that has done that and qualified for the playoffs to have that bad of a September. Yeah. Or should we be focusing on the fact that at least they're there for a second straight year and they're playing a team they're very familiar with and they have played very tight throughout the entire season. And by the way, they went 4-2 at Cleveland, 1-6 against Cleveland at home. So not terrible in that regard.
Yeah, 100%.
How would you focus on it?
I would just focus on the fact that we're there and we're playing a team that we're very familiar with. Okay. Now, obviously, this team is a bane in our existence. It has always been that way. The Cleveland Guardians, when they were the Indians, it didn't matter. Mm-hmm. It was the same thing. They're a bane in our existence, but they're there. The Tigers looked like something last year in the playoffs when they were beat the Astros. They looked like something against the Guardians until they didn't. So I would just be happy that we're in the dance. I would be happy that the guy that you're thinking about paying $400 million to is on the mound tomorrow night to start that series. I just rock and roll from there. Trust the guy Trust the guy that has a World Series. Trust the guy that won a playoff series with that same team last year that many people didn't think had any talent, had a lot of inexperience, which they did. They won a playoff series, and they were en route to winning their second one until the Guardians figured it out. So I would just trust that. Trust A.J. Hinch. Trust what you saw last year. This is 2 years in a row. So the season's over. This is the postseason.
Game 1 is tomorrow afternoon in Cleveland. So we'll be talking about and keeping you up to speed on it. The Tigers finishing, as I mentioned, 7-17. the worst record by a playoff team in the final month of a season since the World Series began in 1903.
God.
Sheesh.
Not the type of history you want.
No, it's also not the type of history you want by losing, what was it, 14 game. When we say a 15.5 game lead, it's fair.
Yeah.
It's not incorrect. It was 15.5 over Cleveland. Cleveland was in fourth place, though, or third place, because it was Minnesota and Kansas City who were 14 games
and they jumped them as well.
6th, and they jumped all of them. Yeah.
So
what I'm wondering from you is this. Last year, remember, 0.2% chance of making it. They make it, and everybody feels like we're playing the best baseball of anybody. Why not us? It's about momentum, and we've been playing playoff baseball for over a month. Fair?
Yeah.
Okay. This year, Cleveland comes from historical significance down. They have been playing really good baseball. They've been playing playoff baseball for a month, and there's all kinds of people saying, no way do we lose to Cleveland. How do you balance that?
I think the people saying that are absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
It's called fandom.
It'll be a different conversation, though. Like, right now, look, they're in. It's optimism. No games have started. They don't start tomorrow. Your ace of all aces right now is on the mound for you. This is a different conversation if they get swept in this if they get swept by the Guardians in their season. Now we're having a different conversation when we come back in 10 days or so. Because now we're going to talk about the collapse. Now we're going to talk about what you didn't do at the trade deadline. Now we're going to do that. But right now, my mouth is shut because you're in.
And by the way, it's Scooble. And remember, I said this last week. Let's remember this. Usually, in the playoffs, regular season, this doesn't always happen.
No.
You're always going against the number one corner if he's healthy, all right? In baseball, sometimes because you hold guys back on starts, it's not always ace against ace. It may be on opening day, maybe the first week, but in the playoffs, that's what you're getting.
Yeah.
Gavin Williams struck out 12, 13 Tigers last time he pitched, and they beat Tarek Skubal. Tarek Skubal goes against Gavin Williams again. And as great as it may be for Detroit to be familiar with Cleveland, Tarek Skubal's last 3 starts now are going to be against the Cleveland Guardians. He's on 6 days rest. That's great. Yeah. That's happened 7 times this year, and Detroit is 4-1, or he's 4-1, I should say, on 6 days rest this season. That's a bonus, I know. But the momentum thing, if you believe in it, I don't want to hear about it and how it benefited you last year, and now it doesn't matter this year, because it should benefit Cleveland if you believe in momentum.
What I will say is this: Tarek Skubal is going to find a way to win Game 1. He's that type of player. You talk about feels, that's the feels that I have for Tarek Skubal. He is a soldier, and he will go out there and he will pitch a hell of a game. Like, you want to talk about him in the playoffs last year and how the last game against Cleveland, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He was tired as hell.
Yeah, he was.
He was tired as I don't know what last year in the playoffs. This right now, this moment, he understands what this represents. I told you every time I see him, it's just the vibe that I get from him. He'll be dialed in, man. He's going to win the game tomorrow regardless. Bet the house on it.
I think he's going to be dialed in. I think he's going to pitch really well, too. That doesn't mean they win, though.
Yeah, because
we've seen that time and time again.
He'll go past 6. I'm telling you.
Well, I sure as hell hope so.
But I'm saying it's going to be something special is what I'm trying to get out there.
All right. Well, I hope you're right about that. I'm not going to pat his ass on the back just because he goes 6 innings, though.
No.
All right? You talked about Jameson Williams.
Right.
It's fair. $30 million.
Right.
This dude's going to command the amount of money that no pitcher in the history of the league has ever seen before. I want him longer than 6, and I want him longer than 7.
You better also talk to the skipper because they're the ones pulling him out.
You're right. But as you and
he can only do so much as a player. Well, now as a pitcher, there's only so much lip you can have.
No, you're right. You're right. But as I mentioned on Friday, actually last Wednesday, I think you were at your son's football game Thursday. I said
56-6.
You know what I want to see? I want to see him say, "Hey, you know what? You're not taking me out.
Yeah. Okay.
This is my ball game. Hey, everybody, see 29, see Detroit on the front. This is who we are. I'm going back out there. That's what I want to see."
Fair.
KG, you were going to say something.
Nah, I just wanted to ask, what do you really expect from this team? Because to Bray's point, I have no problems with what Tarek Skubal's going to do. I know he's going to go out there. He's going to pitch to the best of his ability, and we know that to be a Cy Young caliber pitcher. But as far as the rest of this team defensively, from an offensive standpoint, in terms of run support, what are we really supposed to expect from a Tigers team that is literally, I hate to say limping into the playoffs, but we just got to be real about it. They are limping into the playoffs right now. They're on the downslide.
Yeah, I don't know how you can say anything else. When you've lost 13 of your last 16, you win 7 and 17, and you're reaching these historical marks. I don't see how you can say anything else.
Yeah, not saying they don't have a chance, but
I think they have a very good chance.
They do.
I do. I mean, I think they match up fine with Cleveland. There's nobody in the Cleveland lineup outside of Jose Ramirez, your good friend, Stephen Kwan to a certain extent, who kind of scared me the other day. But the thing I do, and it's not like I like the Guardians, but the thing I do respect about them, they find a flipping way.
They do.
Okay? You don't win as many games as they won this year and come back to do what they did if they don't have grinders. And they've got a lot of them on that team.
They
That's
do.
a fact.
They got guys that can make plays, man. They got guys that in the moments they make the plays. Yeah, I agree.
Is Jack Flaherty your day 2 starter?
Not for me.
Who would it be?
Casey Mize.
Casey Mize would be.
Casey Mize. What about you, Bray? Same?
You know what? I'm going Casey Mize. I learned my lesson. Like I tried to trust Cooper Kupp last week. I tried to trust Cooper Kupp. I knew he was washed, but I told myself, I said, you know what? I'm going to start him one last time. And I'm going to leave Romeo Dobbs on the bench.
It all comes back to fantasy football.
I'm going to leave him one more time. I'm going to give Cooper Kupp a chance. And look what happened. He went out there and he did exactly what I knew he was going to do. As of right now, playoffs included last year for Flaherty. Flaherty wasn't good in the playoffs for the Dodgers. Playoffs included. I'm looking at everything. Give me Casey Mize right now. I feel like he's built himself into some momentum right now. Give me Casey Mize.
Yeah, I don't know Jack Flaherty nearly as well as Casey Mize is one of those guys who wants this opportunity too.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he's got the same stuff Scooble does, because he doesn't. Not many guys do. But I think he is one of those guys who wants to live in this. And quite honestly, if you're looking at merit, if you're looking at somebody who's earned it more?
Yeah.
Okay? I mean,
yeah.
And if you fall back on the experience thing, which sometimes drives me nuts, I would ask, why Jackson Jobe out of the bullpen last year in Houston?
That's
no
true.
experience there.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then you're telling me you're going to limit the number of guys who are going to play this year in the playoffs who maybe didn't last year. Spencer Torkelson.
Right.
Okay?
Hey.
Dylan Dingler. Those guys don't have any experience in the postseason. So to me, I don't care. I think Casey Mize will throw strikes. I think he's got good stuff. For the most part, I worry a little bit about how Cleveland can manufacture runs and how Detroit's offense. I'm more worried about Detroit's offense than I would be their starting pitching right now.
I've been screaming that Shep since the trade deadline. I've been screaming that.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
And we gave on this show, 2 weeks ago, the numbers of the All-Stars. Always not fair to put it on them, but look, you used Jamison Williams as the example earlier about how much money. These guys are All-Stars? Where is it? Jack Flaherty, not an All-Star, but the $25 million price tag comes up in conversation, does it not?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And it should come up more. As much as you mentioned Javi Baez, that one should start coming up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last question, does the series go 3?
I think it does.
In favor of?
I want to see who's pitching Game 3.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll tell you what, if they lose the scuba start, sayonara. Pack it up. I think they're done if they lose the scuba start.
I would be.
That's just me as a fan.
I think a lot of it depends too for me for the offense. If they're doing some of the things that what they did in September that they weren't doing in June, that would bother me. So if they're not taking the extra bag, if they're throwing to the wrong base,
right.
If they're doing certain things like that, that would concern me as much as anything else.
Yeah.
I want to see their offense try and break out. I want to see, production throughout the lineup, and I want to see them getting runs home instead of going, 3 for 17 with runners in scoring position.
No, I hear you.
That's the part right there, man. Like it's tough watching the broadcast, man, and you see runners at the corner and strike,
Yes.
sit down, strike, sit down. Like bad pitch swung at. Like it's just tough when you're stranding runners, because that means some people are trying to do what they're supposed to. Some people are actually doing their jobs and they're not being rewarded with you coming through to do your job. So, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, look, and I understand why some people feel like the ALCS can be had. The AL championship can be, no question. I get that. Toronto, New York, 2 teams really good. Seattle, the number 2 seed. I mean, I thought Ryan had it behind us. How it's going to match up. The Yankees are playing really good ball right now. Like, how many times have they been up and how many times have they been down? New York's the 4, taking on New York or taking on Boston. It's a hell of a start. New York's won 9 of 10, man.
Yeah, they on
Isn't
fire.
it crazy how Giancarlo Stanton always seems to find his level around end of September?
It's true.
He always finds his way to the
maybe
roster.
Maybe that's because he misses so much of the summer.
But
due to
that's what I'm
injuries.
saying. Like around this time, he's always
Yeah.
bow.
Yeah, I think
right
I'll wake
outta
up.
here. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And then same thing, you got some heavy hitters in there. And what's interesting too, Cincinnati 83 wins and they're in. I think they're just the fourth team to ever do that. We talk about how disappointing the Tigers season has been. At least they're in there. Think about the Mets, who had spent $340 million. Spent over $700 million on one dude. And another dude, one of their second highest paid player, Francisco Lindor, is watching his old team win another division without him. And think about their struggles. They were on June 5th. They had the best record in baseball. Since that time, they had the 5th worst record in baseball, and they completely collapsed.
Sometimes you throw money at a problem, man. It just doesn't work. Ask Texas A&M about that.
Right on.
Like sometimes you just throw money out there, it just is not hit because you're not changing the money. Money's not changing the culture. If you're not trying to change that culture, Mets got a bad culture.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that come out about the Mets, whether it's the broadcast, whether it's players, whether it's little antics in the locker room, like front office. Like you just hear things about the Mets and you're like, again?
Yeah.
Like the Mets then again? This is the first time that I actually looked at the Tigers situation from everything that we talked about. This is the first time I glanced and I realized they really blew it.
Yeah, they did.
In this sense. And just looking at the playoff graphic, you're like, we were 1 the whole season a lot. Then it was 2. Then it still was. Now it's 6.
And this team could have benefited from a little bit of a breather, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe not in 2006. Waited too long in the World Series, had a long time off.
6-day
This
rest.
team definitely could have done that, for sure. The other thing I wanted to bring up, Ryan's got it for us, and it's about payrolls for this. Now, you and I have talked about this with people in the chat on a pretty regular basis. Our friend Jensen Lewis, who does a really good job on MLB Radio and with the Cleveland broadcast, sent this out on Twitter. You see the rankings next to them. I've said ad nauseum that I think Detroit needs to be right around $160 million. That's where they're at. But you see where it ranks, 17. Look at the teams that are mid or lower. Seattle in the middle. Cleveland down near the bottom. Milwaukee down near the bottom. Cincinnati down. Cincinnati's got no shot, but they're down near the bottom. It's how you spend the money, not how much money you spend.
True. I'll push back a little
Brewers.
bit about
Brewers.
3 or 4 of those teams have a superstar. I mean, Toronto, they got Vlad Jr., the big dumper in Seattle. New York, they have Judge. I'm just saying.
And Julio. They got
Julio.
And
Ramirez.
Eugenio Suarez.
Eugenio Suarez.
I wouldn't call the big dumper, which is Cal Raleigh, folks, should be the MVP. I wouldn't call him a superstar. Maybe this year.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say he's about to be MVP. You sure about that?
Yeah. But this is. But we wouldn't have said that at the beginning of the season. If I put these numbers up and I said, "Who's got the superstar?" Seattle, you would have said Julio Rodriguez.
Right.
You
true.
would not have said Cal Raleigh.
True.
Okay.
Right.
But you're right. Who's Boston's superstar?
They don't have one.
Alex Bregman.
Oh, well, Bregman. If you consider him a superstar, I don't. But
okay.
That's what he's paid.
He's a damn good player.
In that case, our superstar is Javi Baez.
Well,
in that case.
But that's the problem.
Right.
Okay. Well, Philadelphia, they've got a lot of superstars.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Right.
The Dodgers have a lot of superstars. Mm-hmm. Who's the Cubs?
Yeah,
Pete Crow Armstrong?
Yeah. Nah.
Kyle Tucker?
Their superstars have left.
Those
the
are really good players, but are they superstars?
No.
San Diego.
They have superstars, but
Fernando Tatis Jr.?
Yeah. Manny Machado. I like.
Yeah. Okay. So how many of them really do have it?
Not a lot.
There's probably more up there if you want to use that
true,
criteria.
but when we're looking at I just compare our rosters to those top teams that you have named there. It's not even close in a lot of. You can argue they're better than the Yankees. You can maybe argue better than the Red Sox, but Cleveland, Seattle, Toronto. I don't know if the Tigers beat those lineups. I don't.
You think Cleveland's got a better lineup than the Tigers?
They sure know how to beat our. You know what?
I didn't say that. I agree with that, but overall, you think they got a better roster than the Tigers?
Whenever we go head to head, they seem to have the better outlook.
Well, if that's the case, then the Tigers should have a better roster than the Yankees since they went head to head, right?
And I do from top to bottom. I think they have a more complete roster than the Yankees, but the Yankees have Aaron Judge in the middle of it, and Giancarlo Stanton, and some of these other names. So.
Yeah, they've had some guys who've really stepped forward. All right, when we come back, we get the mailbag going, and we got more chats, including super chats. Braylon also has to get something off his chest regarding the Ryder Cup.
No. I also want to talk about the Lions a little bit more. Like they won yesterday. I deserve to talk more about them. But there's a player there's a player that did something last week. I highlighted in Braylon's breakdown. Something happened for him in the game yesterday. We'll talk about that when we get back.
Now remember, Braylon did 3 breakdowns, so he's
4.
forcing you to
Don't
remember.
forget about Maddox.
Oh, that's right. Got to think about it a little
There
bit.
you
All
go.
right, 3 Lions breakdowns, 4 overall.
Yeah.
That's when we come back on the Braylon Edwards show.
Hey, let's talk about Lady Jane's.
Yeah, let's do that. Lady Jane's. I was just out there watching some of those young ladies take care of the guys who are coming in, haircuts for men. They're coming in and they look at their watch and they say, I'm in a bit of a time crunch. No problem, is what they were told. Nice and easy. Have a chair, wash, into the chair, some nice comments, some fun conversation. Suddenly, they're out the door. Your time is valuable. They understand it better than anybody. It's another reason why they're open 7 days a week, 10 till 8. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It is wicked awesome.
And let's talk to the people about Caesars Sportsbook.
Yeah, I can tell you about Caesars. Hey, Braylon, I bet CMU to cover this weekend. Guess what they did? They covered.
Look at this
Who
guy.
did they play? Fair State?
Eastern. They played Eastern.
They played. Did they cover?
Yeah, they won by 11.
State's D2. Come on,
You're
Braylon.
right. Come
But
on.
I'm asking. I think Fair State would beat Central.
They would. Shout out my nephew. They would.
That's an interesting
The
conversation.
fact that you have to think about it, I rest
know.
my case.
You're right about
even
that.
Even if they would
Yeah.
win, you had
Yeah.
to think about it.
Tuesday night action though. Can't be mad at it.
Action.
100%. Hey, Trinidad Chambliss doing his thing at Ole Miss, by the way. But yeah, Caesars Sportsbook, where I bet CMU to cover against Eastern. They did it this time. I'm 1 for 2 on them this year. But use code Woodward1000 to use your first entry. You can get any deposit back up to $1,000. So if you bet anything on Monday night tonight, you can bet up to $1,000. You lose it, you get it right back. Minimum bet of just $20. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app today, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Use code Woodward1000 or scan that QR code on your screen.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face. New focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Guaranteed that yesterday you really would have enjoyed watching the Lions game even that much more if you had the original Detroit-style pizza in front of you. Since 1946, nobody does it better than Buddy's, and I mean that sincerely. You see how good that pie looks in that pan right there? That's what you get every time you go to Buddy's. It is quality. It is top-notch, and right now you can save 10% on your entire order by using the promo code 10MEAL. That's the number 10, MEAL. 22 locations in the state of Michigan. They've been doing it for 79 years. Dedicated to you and what's good for your palate. Buddy's Pizza, the original. Go to buddyspizza.com.
All right, guys. Before we come back, I just wanted to read off the last couple super chats that we have, and shout out to everybody in the chat that's been participating in the show today. Honorable mention to Gina Brown. She says KG is limping into the playoffs. You damn right. But big shout out to the OG Michael Weary, $5 Chat, let's thank Bray and Shep for the education on football today. Smash that like button and let's get over 100 likes, man. So shout out to him.
I really appreciate that, man. I appreciate you guys looking out for the show. You guys have been there from the beginning, and we appreciate that, man. That's why we cater the show to you guys. Keep it up, and we'll keep smoking, man.
Yes, sir. And the last super chat from Dante151, and for anybody that cares about what happened on the show previous to this one, KG, why are you dodging Neil on that coffee bet? Also, thoughts on Lions possibly calling the Seahawks about Tariq Woolen in a trade.
Yeah, I've heard that name.
So I would love that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tariq Woolen is a DB that is nice. He's smooth. Like, he drafted in the same class as Weatherspoon. Obviously, he turned up year one, and he's been a solid DB for Seattle for the last 3 years. It's also National Coffee Day. How you renege on the bet on National Coffee Day?
Bro, listen, Neil.
Come on,
Neil came in here. He attacked me when I couldn't defend myself.
Neil will do that, but I think it's about the reneging part.
No, I didn't renege on the bet. He wanted the coffee tomorrow, and I will clear my name tomorrow as well. So check out Big D Energy 11 to 1 tomorrow.
You don't have to worry about clearing your name. We know you're good for it.
Thanks.
I never worry about that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's not like a
Shep trying to gain new friends.
No,
you guys been doing this the last 2 weeks.
Oh, that's my guy. That's what good friends do.
Okay.
In the words of Jerry Seinfeld, I don't need any more new friends. No, but I'm just kidding. I do have a buddy at the gym who last year we bet on the 2 Packers games, and we bet lunch. He still hasn't paid me back. That's last year.
Wow. He owes you 2 lunches.
Yeah, 2 lunches.
Yeah,
So that's a story for a different time. You mentioned Rick Woolen from Seattle. There's this is a reach, a little bit of connection there. Lions coaches were coaching the Senior Bowl in 2022 when he was there. So they had to look at him. What about Greg Newsome? That's another
Cleveland.
name. Mike Payton, A to Z
Northwestern.
Sports, brought his name up today on A to Z Sports. Mike Payton does a really good job covering the Lions as well. He said that they just saw him. That might be a possibility. He's expecting a pretty hefty contract. He's at the end of his deal. Maybe that might be a Band-Aid situation for them as well.
I can see
Newsome can play. And Newsome definitely can play. Been watching him since Northwestern, I want to say, when he came out of 5 years ago. They've had some good people in their secondary over like Denzel Ward.
It's weird, isn't it?
They had the DB from LSU a couple years ago. I can't think of his name.
Delpit.
Yeah, there you go. Delpit's still there.
Yeah, he's still there. Yep.
Another guy as well. So, but Newsome can play. I like him too. He's a man-to-man guy. Lions like going man. They appreciate going man, and he's a guy that doesn't mind the smoke when you go man-to-man. So keep in mind for that too.
And that's been the problem for Tyrion Arnold. All right, yesterday, was it Thursday or Friday? We did Braylon's breakdown. There was
Thursday.
That's right. We kept talking about it. It was fantastic. You said just prior to the break that there was something there that you wanted to come back to.
See, when you're a team guy, when you do all the things, your team rocks with you. When you block for your teammates, your teammate wants to block for you. Last week, there was a play where David Montgomery took off. You guessed it, for the 77 yards, right? Yeah. On that play, we noticed that Amon-Ra St. Brown was supposed to take Kyle Hamilton. But because Khalif Raymond was so excited, he couldn't let Amon have him. He ran through there, bunch formation, ran past Amon-Ra, and he smacked Kyle Hamilton. And you see Kyle Hamilton fall on the right side of the bunch. Dave Montgomery's out the backside. That is taking care of your teammate. Like Khalif Raymond, Kyle Hamilton, you just do the size measure. Didn't care, knocked him out. It's a football player making a football play. Fast forward, he makes one move, and then he's out to the touchdown. But when you watch that touchdown, watch how the guys are blocking for him. Watch how guys are engaged in that. Watch how the lanes were protected so he could do the Khalif Raymond stuff and score a touchdown. Shout out to Leaf for getting in the end zone. And to be honest, it came at a good time because the Lions really weren't putting up any points in the fourth quarter. The game wasn't any in the balance or anything like that. However, they were stalling. That gave them a jolt of energy, right on time, Khalif Raymond. But when you block, when you do the team stuff, it comes back to you. Everybody wins when the team wins, and his touchdown was an example of that. So
since being a member of the Lions in his returning, he's, I believe, number 1 in the NFL in return yards.
3? Yeah. Oh, in terms of return yards. Yeah. He was missed, too. There's another player that we didn't have in the playoffs last year.
And you know what? That was a hell of a return.
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't your simple straight line.
No.
I'm getting some blocks. couple of moves here.
He made that
moves there.
return
He made that
happen. Like, they blocked for him. They did the other stuff, but that was a Khalif Raymond making something happen type return as well.
Good stuff. Let's get to the mailbag. That's a great point, man.
Yeah.
That's exact. Now I remember it. I mean, you were
smacked
talking
Kyle
about
Hamilton
him
on that play.
Yeah.
Not without a hesitation.
Yeah.
All right.
What do we got in the mailbag there, KG?
Yep. Shout out to Charles McClain in the chat. Mailbag. Seems like the Lions have had more injuries since changing the turf. So could it be the turf or the training staff that is the problem?
Great question for you.
That turf is, that turf has been the topic of discussion for a very long time, and I don't think it's going anywhere. The Lions also, too, that's one of the older field turfs in the NFL. It's one of the older ones. A lot of injuries starting to happen on that stuff. A lot of players, Darius Slay complained about it before he left here, but there are a lot of players that have complained about it, and there are a lot of injuries that have happened. It's an ongoing conversation with the league every year between the field turf and with the dew and the grass. That's why you just don't want, like,
what would you rather play? I mean, Malik Neighbors was hurt. He's out for the year.
Yeah,
for
Bermuda
the Giants.
Bermuda grass.
Bermuda grass.
Like Bermuda grass. Like, especially like kind of how Elysian, they roll it out, they roll it back. Arizona Cardinals, they roll it out, they roll it back. I mean, unless you can get Lambeau imported in. Outside of that, yeah, that Bermuda grass, because it has turf-like elements, but also is grass to a certain extent. You can run, you can fly, you can fall. I would prefer Bermuda grass, especially for a team like the Lions that are a speedy team.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a hefty fee to do something like that. But
Bermuda grass. Look, NFL teams got the money. I mean, if we're talking,
I know the Fords got it in spades.
They all got it. Like I've said before, if you care about the product on the field, if you care about the people who are playing your game and promoting your game on a regular basis, things like this. I would like to at least have the conversation.
You know why?
And it's not with me. I'm talking about grab Braylon Edwards and the people of your ilk and say, hey, what's the best to play on? Forget the scientific facts and all this other stuff, okay? Forget about the people. Love Ferris State, but they've got that turf, that major in turf and all that other stuff. Bring in the players and ask them what is best on your body.
They don't even have to bring the players in because they have the players. Look at all the injuries they had last year and all the guys that they've been around. Just ask their own guys, what would you prefer to play on? That goes back to the conversation about money, though, Shep. Because if I'm just jumping in their heads real quick. I'm jumping in the mind of an owner in an NFL franchise. If I'm going to spend $270 million to create if I'm going to spend $270 million for any addition, expansion to my stadium, my arena, I want it to look like it. And if they're going to spend $300 million just so that the grass rolls out perfect, now it works to the players. It works for the players. It's best for the players. But is this noticeable enough for the outside, for the fans and everybody else to sink $300 million in?
In addition to that, knowing that you have other events take place at that facility, and they're all multi-purpose facilities these days, it's something that has to be taken into consideration.
And then that's the question, and that's the answer. So, yeah. All right.
Anything else, buddy?
Yeah, we do. Shout out to Rando Smalls. Not necessarily a question, but a statement. Mailbag. We always see players pick up their games in the playoffs. The Rodgers, Sweeneys, McKinstry's, and Miltons come up with a big hitter strikeout to save a game or three. Watch, it always happens. For their sake, I hope so.
I appreciate that. I hope so, but we can't say we always see it because we only saw it once, and that was last year.
Yeah.
Like, it was on last year, so it's not like we have 4, 5, 6, 7 years of playoff experience where there are players come up in the moment. Last year, he's absolutely correct. Every time you turn the TV on, there was another player making a play that was like, whoa, can you believe this guy? That was last year, and that was the first and only time. So to happen again this season, then we can say, oh, you know what? They always tend to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, I mean, that's why there are names like Ben Zobrist and Pablo Sandoval and David Freese.
Yeah, man.
Who have
Never
been
forget.
MVPs of Edgar Renteria.
Shout out.
MVPs of World Series. Tommy Edman last year in the NLCS for crying out loud, and they picked him off the sidewalk, right?
He was huge.
So you see that. Who would that be for the Tigers? That might be a pretty good discussion for the Braylon Edwards show tomorrow.
I winced. I just saw Malik Neighbors' ACL injury.
That was brutal.
And the reason why I winced is because it's the same exact way that I tore my ACL when my rookie year. It was weight displacement. Like, I went up and was about to come down on my right leg. However, my right leg got caught under the DB's leg, so it slid. So when my left leg touched down, it touched down with all the pressure that the right leg was ready to absorb.
Oh, man.
But the left leg wasn't.
And how long did it take you to come back?
6 months I was back doing everything, but I started to see. So that was December 4th, surgery was January 2nd, started September 11th. But the mental aspect of it, like I said earlier, we had this conversation, wasn't until about November of that year to where I was like, okay, I can jump up and down and do the things.
And he did it without a cowboy hat then, but he did the show with a cowboy hat today. We don't know if he'll have one on tomorrow.
Right.
But we hope you can join us. Our thanks to Ryan and KG, but most of all to you for joining us in the chat. We look forward to talking more sports with you tomorrow here on the Braylon Edwards Show, 2 to 4 on the Woodward Sports Network.
Peace.
The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.